Family, it's the Black Wall Street Show. Hope you're feeling good. I'm feeling real good to be on the air tonight. Got some real heavy topics going on tonight. Wonderful guest on the night, Miss Monica Boglin, is going to be on the night with Evolution College. Monica has some of the most brilliant ideas that you're going to hear about the black hair care industry and how we're going to work together to unite the black hair care industry. You think about the black hair care industry logically as far as a black profession. It's probably the largest black profession that we have, barbershops and salons. Just as much as the church, you're going to find a barbershop and a salon in every black community. I think it's our largest business base. And as far as money, it's huge. $11 billion a year going in the black hair care industry. And that money is not coming back to our hands, and that's a problem. So Monica is going to be on tonight with some solutions to solve this, and so I'm really excited about her ideas. Monica Boglin, she's out of Alabama, Birmingham area. I got some roots down there myself. She's going to come with Evolution College and some evolutionary ideas, so, sit back with the Black Wall Street Show. I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest on. Just want you to know, in the black hair care industry, there's some real exciting things going on. Sam Innan, some of you know of Bob's, a friend of mine that I've been doing business with for the last couple of years, has put together a wonderful organization. She now has the Barbers card. The Barbers card is a card that you can get for $10 a year, and you will get 25% discount off black hair care products. Think about that, 25% off for $10 a year. And we can organize and begin to unite our black activity into the hair industry. I'm saying that we have black manufacturers. He has, in fact, 95 black vendors lined up with this project. It's huge. You can go to bobsa.org, BOBSA, and look that up and get your BOBSA card. You know, you just launched. You know, it's a perfect time to do it. See, this is 2013 that we're in right now. We need to start moving quick. We're moving too slow. And we got people out here with some big things, and that's what the Black Wall Street Show is all about. Letting you know so that, you know, we don't fall victim to all the negative news that we see. There's some great things going on in Black America. And I'm about to prove it to you tonight, for sure. Are you on, Monica? Just a moment, fam. Get Monica on here. Yep.
The conference is now in conversation mode.
All right. Monica, you all here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. How is everyone?
I'm feeling great. Feeling really good tonight. Ready to get some of this information and solutions about how we're going to get some quick transformation in our communities. I love the way you put the logic together, you know, and I want you to break it down for people. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your roots and your background, Monica.
Great. Well, yes, Alabama is home, and I'm actually from a little community just west of Birmingham called Fairfield. It was probably during my high school days that, you know, you're going through that turmoil of what you want to be when you grow up and things of that nature. And there have been, you know, kitchen beauticians in my family for generations, but I've always felt really good that I was the first in my family to take the profession seriously and to go after proper licensure and accreditation. So with that said, within about a year after graduating high school, still toiling with the idea of initially, you know, enrolling in law school, and I just really couldn't bring myself to even put pen to paper to sign those enrollment papers. And the only fear that stopped me from going there was initially I thought I was going to disappoint my parents, but upon that time I realized that I really had to do what was on my heart and what I felt passionate about. And so over the years, the hair care industry has supplied an endless amount of opportunities for me to engage in my passion, be very serious about my profession, and, yes, be able to capture some of that profitability. So I've been licensed in the industry for 22 years, and 10 of those this year, celebrating my 10-year anniversary as a licensed instructor. And for those that are online, that are in the industry, and they know that the instructor certification is the highest certification, top-notch. It's the plateau that you hit in our industry. So I tell people I'm so passionate about the industry. If there was other certifications and other licensures for me to get in my industry, I would be out there obtaining them right now, or I would already have them. But I do feel good that I was able to hit that at the age of 27, which is still a fairly young age for instructors, because most people work the majority of their careers, and they, without me sounding facetious, they treat an instructional career as semi-retirement. You know, they feel to bring 30 or 40 years of knowledge to the table after they've worked 30 or 40 years. And the reality is that knowledge is already there. It's already embedded. And if we were to take a better view of where we need to be as education, marry that with where we need to be as businesses, and more people are stepping up to the plate of becoming licensed instructors. I want to make that emphasis over people who promote themselves as an educator. All an educator means is if you are going to share specific knowledge on a technique or a service, but to actually become licensed requires you to actually, in all states, requires you to go back to school, re-educate yourself, retest, and then become re-licensed. So professionally, that's my background in a nutshell.
Beautiful. I love the fact that you're an educator, you know, that you're not in just a simple position in the industry. You always seek to attain a higher level of expression in what you do. And we need more of that in the black hair care industry. You know, the way you put it so business-minded, So, Monica, what do you think is the problem with the black beauty product and services industry?
Well, right now, and I'll just retouch on what you just said about growth, and that is where the vision of Evolution College came to me. One of the very first projects that I engaged in once I returned to school to receive my licensure, I told my directors at that point, I knew I wanted to be a school owner. I knew that there was then a significant amount of education missing. Specifically then, I was gearing a lot of my work towards diversity. There was still a huge separation, maybe because it's specifically in the South, but there was still a huge separation in how blacks view themselves and how they view their businesses. And I prided myself early on being one of the youngest, 18 or 19 years old, being in a salon with people who had been in the business for 18 or 19 years, and stepping into position with them and being able to teach them a thing or two, so to speak. Being able to be the only black in some salons. But being a black woman, I was able to put my hands in the head of an Asian, of a white person, of a Jamaican, of a Puerto Rican, and give them an exceptionally valuable service. At the end of the day, that's what your customers seek, and that's what they pay for. So initially, I do think that we as serviceable-oriented people, initially we just stopped our thinking process at rendering a service. The industry historically was only taught to be a service-based industry. Do a service, do a haircut, do a roller set, do a blow dry, and make cash money. Initially, that's where we were in general for the orientation of a lot of black-owned businesses, to perform a service and make the cash. So I think because we limited ourselves to that thinking process, that it stagnated our growth. And again, that's where the vision of Evolution College came to me, and its namesake, Evolution, which is change, progress, and growth. If we are afraid of change, there will be no progress, and without progress, we will never see growth. And we are talking economically, we are talking socially, we're talking politically, a whole lot of other areas that encompass us as a black people as a whole.
Right. Exactly. So how do you think this, what are the roots of this problem? Because, you know, there was a time when the black hair care industry was strong. In the 60s, we had multi-millionaire black hair care industry owners. And slowly over time, it kind of eroded. As Wall Street got involved, L'Oreal took a huge chunk of the black hair care industry market with their ventures when they began to see how profitable it was. And even the U.S. government had contracts with South Korea that gave them exclusivity on imports into the U.S. With black hair care products. Now, this started happening in the 60s. And they began to move into the black community with their product and stock then, and then you see what the result is today. But it's interesting how a contract was signed in, you know, talking about, you know, some of the roots. But on the ground level, as it exists today, Monica, what do you think is causing some of these issues?
Well, I think we're just seeing the limbs of the seeds of that tree that were planted back then. And again, a lack of education, not so much in the serviceable part of the industry, but a lack of education of business and economics as a whole, especially seeing our businesses on a global platform. So we're going to attest to the fact that, yes, as blacks, we were disenfranchised and we were disallowed. And we were just blatantly told that we weren't good enough, always treated as a second-class citizen or second best. Like we weren't good enough to go to college. We weren't good enough to receive that education. And I will tell you, I've been a victim of that. Again, as a part of me wanting to change the scope of where we are with our businesses and to change it through education. I've been in those high school classrooms when you took a vocation or you took a trade and you were looked down upon because you took the long yellow bus to the trade school. You weren't smart enough to be in the advanced education classes and things of that nature. But I was very lucky to have educators placed in my life at the times they were placed and be able to make some very profound statements to me. So I remember one of my high school educators telling me early on, You can be the best lawyer in the world. You can be the best judge in the world. You can be the best executive at the bank. But you're walking down the street and your hair is standing on the top of your head. Not too many people are going to take you seriously, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do when we're providing a service, over the years, it has become a more well-respected and a very valuable profession. So like I said earlier, we're probably one of the largest black professions as far as a collective of black people. But that being said, we have to break down our own mental barriers and begin to embrace the culture of our own creative intellect. We have to marry our creativity with our God-given intellect and be able to know how to do the next greatest haircut or the next greatest service, and be able to step out and also say that I have a great business plan. I know how to become a valuable and marketable brand for my business. You want to go out and be able to sit down and speak with business professionals, financial professionals. The only difference between you and them is what products you're selling in the marketplace. And so we have to be able to encompass that type of logic in order to continue to take our business seriously if we want to see growth. If not, just as you stated earlier, corporate America has suffered the black people the biggest blow to our industry, where we never thought that maybe retail products and retail services would then out-expand the general African-American market. We still relatively do not have enough black-owned businesses that invest in that residual income, which could be your retail market of up to 10 to 15% of your annual income. However, when we do have those contracts signed with various manufacturers of Asian America, and companies here are importing billions and billions and billions of products annually. We put a black face on it, we put a little hip-hop music to it, and stick it on the shelf, stick it on every commercial that we see or radio that we listen to, and we think it's something good for black people. My thing is, I tell people to dig a little further. Find out if there's even a black chemist that makes those products. If there's a black person that sits on the board of directors of these companies that are selling you these products. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the formulation of the product, but we're talking about the origination and the authenticity of this being a black product.
Right. It's worth millions. You know, we can get paid as a people, you know. Sometimes we just take too long. You know, we got these solutions out here, and we put them out so we can get paid. It's black people, we already talking about we want money. Then let's just put the little money up and do it. You know, we talk about the hair care industry, and we talk about spiral funding. And people are loving spiral funding, and it's going great. But we should have by now tens of thousands of memberships. If you study the dynamics of spiral funding, it is $10 a month for spiral funding. The impact this can have on the black hair care industry is enormous. You got tens of thousands of black hair care professionals in America. I mean, heck, in one large city, you know, you might have about 500 barbershops and salons. You know, pretty much. $10 a month in the black hair care industry enrolls you in the spiral funding. Now, we talked a little bit about spiral funding. We have not got too much into the details of spiral funding on this show. I'm going to break a little bit of it down, how it works, spiral funding. And Devon broke it down last week on the show very eloquently. But there's a lot of details of spiral funding. This project has been going on for over a year. We've been tweaking this thing. The whole network of spiral funding is set. All the websites are set, the service, we got everything ready to go. Bank. It's all down. So for $10 a month, you enroll in the spiral funding, and you go in a pool. We drive to $1 million memberships. That's $10 million a month. $5 million goes back to black business because the $10 a month, as Devon said last week, half of it goes right back into funding. So that's your $5 of your dollars out of your 10. The rest we employ, build infrastructure. Now you talk about life insurance. That's life insurance. That is leaving a legacy for the children. You know what I mean? That's what this is about. You know, so we need to really, get get behind cooperative economics. That is the future. And that's now. We have the computer, and our struggle coming through our history, we were never able to be united the way we are now. The invention of the computer, which was the code, was actually made by a black man from Africa, the computer code. So it's rooted in our mind for us for this time. And now that we're able to link up, we can do it so fast and get rich. And we don't need to wait on nobody to give us anything. We all got $10. We all got 10 for the Bob's car. You know what I mean? You buying stuff anyway.
Right.
You keep going to Target, keep going talking about Target and Walmart all the time. We need to be talking about our stuff and put black product in the conversation. Just think about how much you talk about running Target all the time or Walmart. You don't talk about talking about going to a black establishment enough out here. So if we want to get rich, then let's get rich is what I'm saying, you know. We're going to 2014, a new season. You know from the knowledge game that 1914 was a very irrelevant year in history. It was, for those who study, the ending of one civilization in 1914. Yeah, Brother Brett breaks it down a little bit on the show. We're just getting into this. So, in 1914, the ending of a civilization happened. This was the ruling of the European civilization, but it was given 100 years grace according to what we have in the black scriptures of our fathers written. That's coming into 2014. And you can see the world condition is ramping up. And this is the time frame that our ancestors read, what you see going on here in America and around the world. So we do not have time to waste, you know, if we want to get paid and do this thing, because we see it's a lot of drama going on. We got a brother in the White House. That's beautiful. But we know the position of the brother, and we need to be backing the brother with our support because he is who he is. And we need to not wait on him, but we need to make ourselves proud of supporting him during the time that we had a black man in office. Because why, when you have a historic moment, you got a black president, and then when he out, don't complain about the president, complain about yourself, black people, if we don't step up. Because we should be stepping up as a whole to signify our rise instead of waiting. That's the point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we need to show forth. If they're going to shine, we need to shine. That's what I'm saying. Right?
Exactly.
So we have these opportunities to do it, you know. And we should do it. And what Monica's bringing to the table with Evolution College, look it up. Lots of great, beautiful ideas in Black America, and I just threw you some. If you want to get it, we can get it, you know. And you're talking about loan amounts for businesses funding 73 businesses a month, spitting out businesses like car parts, black-owned businesses. You can get funding up to $500, and if you have infrastructure, up to $1 million. It's spiral funding. This is going out once a month. So, and for the black college students that may be listening, I really want to reach out to you because this is for your generation, black college students, and HBCU specifically, Central State around here, around Dayton, Boglin College, Central State in North Carolina. Shout out to them. Wonderful black colleges, and many more, but they need to be involved with spiral funding. And we're going to go to the HBCUs and speak to these HBCUs to get the students involved and set up cooperative economics. That's the plan of Black Wall Street. It's not just to sit back. It's to aggressively go at the black organizations. We want to unite all the black organizations. In fact, that's the real goal. Just to put it out there, and we are doing that. We are doing that. We got lots of agreements. Some of them are going to be signed, and we'll talk about that later on the Black Wall Street show. Some collaborations between Black Wall Street and another well-known black organization. Of course, I'm going to say it, the UNIA of Marcus Garvey. So that's beautiful. Marcus Garvey has a wonderful 100-year history with the UNIA Association, and it's really huge at Black Wall Street. and the Barbers Stylist Association to be collaborating together. We're also bonded with the NOI, the Nation of Islam. So we got three powerful groups that we're moving with here. We need to get the conscious community where they need to be. And we're going to be core particles to get this thing jumping. We're going to set the atom off, make it crack. That's what Black Wall Street is about. You know that, Monica?
Yes.
That's right. So tell us a little bit more, Monica. Tell us how a black person in business, what steps, I want you to give me the perfect example of what a black person in the black haircare industry who owns a business, what would the perfect setup, what would the perfect business structure and model look like for them to be operating professionally as a black business in America should?
Well, to be honest, and I'm going to say we can move away from where corporate America probably established the first corporate hair salons in at least the early 1960s through department store chains. We as blacks have been owning our black-owned businesses since probably 100 years before, and we can thank the Madam C.J. Walkers of that nature, so forth and so on. But again, what has happened, we fell prey, unfortunately, to so many of the trappings and the misgivings of making quick money. We do a haircut, we make cash. As quick as we made that cash, we spent it. And I will be honest and say, it's not offending to anyone, that we have been absent, and our businesses have been absent and void of actually having a proper business infrastructure and business plan in place historically. However, there is no reason for that specific mental setup now. So I want to put this out there, and I want to say this because these are just some hard things I have to press to myself, hard things I've pressed to people over the years. I'm pretty much a no-holds-barred person. I really don't like to tiptoe around the issue. When it has to be said, it needs to be said. But for us as black people, what we're going to have to do is to develop a strong, repositioned, transformative, mental, and analytical business plan. We're going to have to learn to practice self-discipline if you are going to be an unstoppable, undistractable force in how we view ourselves in the marketplace and how we make money. We're going to have to view ourselves on an individual basis, literally, as a walking corporation. We are not second class. We're not second rate. We are not inferior. We're going to have to embrace our intellect, our creativity, our logic. We're going to have to put significant, actionable plans in place and go step out on that phase. We're going to have to do that. That is the only way we're going to be able to continue to be recognized and respected in the marketplace. If not, every other creative idea that we have, when we're out hanging with our friends and our buddies on the corner or in the club, trust me, corporate America and the powers that be have eyes and ears everywhere, which is why I had that idea so many years ago, or XYZ ago, and then some unknown corporate America force comes out with a new product and a new brand, and there it is, repositioned on the shelves of the Walmarts and Targets and everything else in the world. So we're going to have to learn how to really and truly transform our way of thinking, first of all. Too many of our black businesses are, again, a cash basis. I don't know how many blacks that are still out there doing it, paying taxes with a Social Security number. That needs to stop. Step into your CEO hat and understand what that means. We need to go out and view ourselves as the corporate world views us, the IRS views us, which is being a small business entity established from 1 to as many as 499 employees. That means I'm the owner, I'm the worker, I can be viewed as a corporation. It's a 5-minute click at best on your browser to get that EIN number, to then go and then take your EIN number to your state secretary's office and file your state incorporation papers, at least as an LLC. A sole proprietor, you'll still be able to do business with just that EIN, but I encourage people to take the next step and go to an LLC. Because at least when you see your business name, the name of your salon, the name of your brand, and that LLC is there, or LLP, or incorporated, or what have you. most people will stand up and take notice of that and take you a little bit more seriously because you've actually gone through the process of establishing yourself as a business.
Right.
We're going to have to, literally understand what this means. And this is not, Japanese for any of us. These processes are literally 1 to 2 pages long at best, a few minutes of their time at best.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I believe that you're going to have to incorporate any knowledge or anything from your lawyers to anything of that nature. I believe in reading and writing and grasping that information for myself before I even approach those guys. If it's anything that I can do myself, that saves my bottom line some money. So instead of paying a lawyer $500 to type up and file this one-page document as an LLC, I believe that I would like to save that $500 and use it in my budget towards something else. I'll take it to the courthouse myself. I'll file it myself. I'll type it up myself. The information is very easy, very simple, broken down. Again, we've just been disenfranchised so long from these processes and others telling us that the process took long. You had to be an attorney to do this. You had to be an accountant to do that. All of that, again, was designed to keep us locked out mentally of where we needed to be as business professionals. Another trend we're going to have to watch out for, this information I came across in Forbes magazine. Ownership is also going to take a huge shift as far as we're talking about the entire workforce in general, but it matches perfectly to where we've been historically as small business owners and service workers. In as little as 7 years, 2020, up to 40%, some are reporting 50% of the workforce will be contingent workers. Those are anyone that falls under the purview of entrepreneurship, consultants, contractors, independent anybody that shows any type of attitude towards entrepreneurship. 2020 is 7 years away, people, and we're talking about up to 40 or 50% of the workforce will be independent workers and independent contractors. The reason for this is we're looking at corporate America itself is looking at a change in its shift on its profitability and its bottom line. They're looking basically to cut costs at any means that they can, which means that they will save money and show greater profitability by not paying benefits, by not having to secure pay raises, and by not having to pay retirement for any workers at the end of a 20 or 30-year run. So they will be able to hire a contingent worker, an entrepreneur, an independent contractor to do the same work, and that particular entrepreneur will then be responsible for their own expenses, meaning your own benefits, that you pay your own insurance, you pay your own this or that or the other. You handle your own pay raises. You are responsible for your own 501ks or whatever other retirement savings plan. So that's where we're looking as far as a trend down the road. And we're going to have to really and truly re-embrace what it means to be an entrepreneur, and that it's moving away from the cash mentality and moving into the mentality of being a true small business entity. So we're just going to have to learn to encompass that and move forward with it right now. Like you said, move a little slow. We can't afford to wait any longer. We have to do this now.
Right. You are right about that. Now, I believe in conversation you mentioned linking to nonprofit activity along with the barbershop and salon.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Nonprofit or salons themselves, I would say, not so much for nonprofits. If you're looking at typically where nonprofit is structured, nonprofit, though, will fit perfectly for a school. Those of us that may be looking to open schools, which is what Evolution College will be founded as. For the nonprofit structure, you want to make sure that you are at least understanding where you need to be. Not saying that people have a kind of a backwards view of what nonprofit means. We're not saying you can't make money. We're not saying that you're not supposed to show a profit. All the IRS wants is for you to take a maximum of about 20% of your gross, and that needs to be expendable. It needs to stay tucked away. You have to take any revenue you're bringing in that has to be reissued back into the sake of the business. The great thing about the general nonprofit mentality is most people will command higher salaries, including those that are owners, in fact, directors, so forth and so on. Your first expenses you're going to pay out on any of your budget, any of your revenue, anything that's coming in is going to be for salary. So if we are looking to do anything nonprofit-wise, we want to make sure you have key executives in place, key directors in place, key operational management in place. Pay them the salaries that they deserve and keep these people happy. Allow them to work and have a great culture for your business so that people will be happy to come to work. So the ideas and the creativity that they're designing and developing at your business, that they don't get, kind of pulled away from you from another nonprofit, non-African-American owned corporate business. And we've got to know that our intellect and our creativity it's been pilfered, it has been copied, it has been remanufactured time and time again. We've just never been given credit for it. So we just got to move away from the fact that our ideas and our intellect and our creativity is not good as, our competitive other sisters and brothers in America.
Now, Monica, I think we got some other calls on the line, so I'm going to let some other callers jump in and ask you a few questions.
Sure.
On the line. You ready to answer a few questions?
I am.
Well, let's see if we got some callers now. You got any callers on the line?
Hello, Monica. How you doing? It's Deltrick.
I'm great.
Hey, it's great talking to you. Now, I had some questions, too, in helping, put some of this together and finding more information about the black hair industry. What is one of the best entry points that you would suggest for, people who might not necessarily have a formal education in the beauty industry, but people who kind of learn, from family and friends and, aunts and aunties? What would you suggest for them to be their best entry point into the industry as far as taking their acquired skills and, matching them up with the educational and licenses that they need to get started?
Right. Well, what I would like to do is to see those business professionals let your first line of defense is to find another credible licensed individual and bring them on board. What has happened with corporate America is the structure of that. We can go in and we can take and revamp and retool and reissue. What has happened, unfortunately, when you have too much of a corporate stronghold in a service-oriented business, most professionals will know that a part of them becomes very much attached to their business and how they do business. Me, myself, not so much, because I try to not to let my emotions get in the way of me making feasible and actionable business decisions. But I will say that you need to align yourself with another professional and a professional that shows some type of acumen, something that you relate to on the level of business, and you guys come together and meet somewhere in the middle. For that, you will need to actually have that insight from that person who's in the business, who provides the services, who can hear what their clients want, what they see, what they desire, and then be able to move forward in that regard. And we're talking about a plethora of business ideas that are available in the industry right now: retailing, owning salons, owning spas. We have new real estate concepts that are coming up now. They're actually treating these concepts as executive suites or executive office suites. Those go to the salon studios and the salon studio suite concepts. So I really do think that you can find that person in the industry that you're able to match and meet in the middle. That will probably be your best line of defense, because unfortunately, when you're coming at people who know their business, I'm the person that provides the service, I'm the person that's doing the business, and you're going to lose them in too much of the corporate lingo if they don't feel that you are relating to them. Unfortunately, that's just what happens when we're talking about people that are literally emotionally invested and tied into their businesses, because that salon or that barbershop, after a while, it becomes their safe haven. It becomes where they're most comfortable. It becomes where they can go and be themselves, away from the outside world. It's where they can do their own work, set their own hours. It's where they find their freedom. So you don't want to lose them through the process of coming in with too much of a corporate stronghold. So try to find another licensed professional and just try to meet somewhere in the middle with them.
And if I could just pick your brain just one more moment, especially for us, people who might not be as, business acumen, what would be the best business structure I should look to form with somebody I might not necessarily be, personally involved or, have their personal history, but somebody who seems to have the best business acumen? What kind of business structure should I try to set up with that type of individual?
If we're talking profitability, I will say a lot of business owners historically use the concept of what we call booth renting as just an owner. And this would be an owner that owned the business, they owned the space, and they literally rented out chairs to a stylist who was an entrepreneur, and they wanted the independence of working for themselves, but they didn't want to carry the burden of all of the overhead of being the actual owner. Now, that is coming into play when we're talking about the salon studio and the salon suite concept, because they're just taking the chair rental situation and moving it to the next level. So I would say outside of investing in some possible real estate, to go to the salon studio or the salon suite concept, commission work has been a very good concept for most of your corporate America. Most corporate-based salons are not doing anything other than commission-based work versus a base salary. And most people are going to try to work so they can break a higher commission. Commission can be done on the contingency of the amount of service that you produce or the amount of products that you sell. So a lower end of the road of a person who's able to make commission on a base amount, they make 40%. If they're, say, on a $500 week, they'll make 40% of that. If they're moving a little bit further and they're producing $1,000 a week, they may move into a 50% commission. If they're doing $1,500 or $2,000 a week for you, then you want to move them up into maybe a 60 or 65% commission rate. But you want to make sure that the business itself is able to encompass as many workers as you can and be able to glean as much profitability as you can. But I will probably say that the booth rental concept, which does give the average stylist a lot of freedom, however, is not showing that much profitability for the business owner. So if you would like to deal with other entrepreneurs, then think along the line of investing in some type of real estate, and you can be able to get in on the salon suites and the salon studio concept, which is relatively new, probably about 2 to 3 years old right now in the U.S. as we're looking into different things.
Right.
You want something definitely that you'll be able to have profitability, but you do not want to cut the legs from underneath your workers, because if workers don't feel that they can pull that profitability home and they're not taking home good money at the end of the week or at the end of the pay period, trust me, hairdressers are very fickle. They're going to be out before you know it and move on to the next salon where they feel they have some type of control on what type of money that they make.
You know, Monica, also, brilliant idea. You make some stuff run through my head. And what we've been thinking about doing at Black Wall Street and making connections for is actually delivering hair. I'll give you straight for the no chaser. Many of the stylists issue is that they don't want to stock hair. They want to buy sometimes $400 or $500 worth of hair and stock it, not know if they're going to sell it right away, because 45% of a stylist's income comes from walk-ins. Mm-hmm. So the issue is that they want the hair, they would like to sell it instead of sending their customer down the street to another owner who's not benefiting the community. They send them away.
And to be honest, that's with any other retail item. To be honest with you, that's with any other retail item. So True. The hair is so close to our culture. It is the one thing that's like black sacred ground that we never really seem to step away from as we go to get our hair done at. Black folks just go to black barbershops and salons. That's pretty much it. But everywhere else we go, everybody, pretty much we stick to our barbershops and salons. That's holy ground. And that's definitely a place
where we can make some moves at in that industry.
I call it the commercial hair movement because, as far as I'm concerned, it's much hair that's being worn by so many African American women in today's marketplace. Almost none of that hair is packaged or exported from in the U.S. anywhere. It is all imported. So it's actually becoming affordable fashion for us. It becomes a part of that disposable income for us. And the more we see the trend of African-American women moving into corporate America and other whatever type of entity that they're moving away from, again, not to offend anyone, we're moving away from the Aunt Jemima's view of how we viewed ourselves and our beauty. And we also know that we don't have to be blonde and blue-eyed to be considered beauty. But it's something about that hair that literally, if we're going to quote the Bible, is that woman's crown and glory. And so we are spending thousands and thousands of dollars in some marketplaces on 1 4 or 5 ounce bundle of hair. And that's great for the places of Asia and the Middle East. Even South America is getting on into the importing of hair. And just the name that you hear from some of these places, Brazilian hair and Chilean and Peruvian and Moroccan, all of that to our ears sounds so exotic. It's probably giving some of us a chance to tap into that little bit of culture that we will never get a chance to travel or see these places on hand. But I can brag to my girlfriends and tell them that, honey, I got this Moroccan hair sewn in for such and such amount of money and blah, blah, blah. So going back to where we're talking about profitability for the average salon owner, even the average independent stylist, investing in retail and resellable products is a must. There is no reason that you give a haircut, a style, a color, or sew-in weave with products that you buy wholesale. Your consumable products. These products are designed to be consumed, and once they're gone, they're gone. But what about your retailing products that are designed to be there to support those businesses? We allow so much of our residual income to walk right out the door. When you give that service, that client has had that great shampoo, she's had that scalp treatment, she's got that great sew-in, and you spritzed her down and you put an oil sheen and she leaves out shining and smelling good, and she wants to know, well, oh, girl, where do I get that oil sheen? Or where do I get that scalp balm? Or where do I get that mousse to take care of my weave? And you've got to send her down the street to a Sally's or Walmart or Target or someplace else to buy that retail product. When the products are available to us on a wholesale basis or directly from the manufacturer, as a lot of the hair care companies, the commercial hair companies are going now. We've got to learn to take some of that parting and club money at the end of the week and reinvest it in our retail products. There's no way and this is what was taught in corporate America salons. I've been in too many of them to not pay attention and not absorb that education. The push at my time, my last full-time salon job as a manager for a corporate was probably more than 10 years ago, right before I started teaching. And the mentality for us as managers then is we were trying to infuse the culture into that salon with every stylist. They wanted at least every customer to be able to walk out with a minimum of one $10 product. They didn't care what it was. You had to be in the practice and the habit of suggestively selling that product to your customer. That means we've got to change terminology. We've got to change vocabulary. We've got to come away a little bit of talking about that basketball game and Kobe and whatever soap opera did this and whatever scandal show did that and whatever, and start talking about the services you're providing and what the client needs to do to maintain the service at home until she comes back.
Change the conversation. We've got to change it. And I want to give you some information that I found. Monica sent me some information on the black hair care industry, and I found some wonderful information, so I find really interesting. This is a Census Bureau report back from 2007. And in the Census Bureau, it says that there's nearly 2 million black-owned businesses in 2007, which is up 60% from the previous survey in 2002. 2 million black businesses. this is interesting, and a lot of us, I certainly didn't know this. So black business grew from 2002 to 2007 by 60%. There are 2 million black businesses. We've got a lot of black business out here. And it goes on, states some interesting facts that I believe it was in, but one of the issues with it was that 94% of the black-owned businesses didn't have employees. We were just pretty much on our own. And that is the issue. We have to change the system around.
In the owner-operator mentality for a long time.
Right. We still have to start paying people and change the structure of what we're doing with business and getting the business more complete. Like you're saying, don't just do 50% in the business, do the whole business, you know.
Exactly.
We're going to get into it, and we need to get into it and focus on it. And there's a lot of money, $10 billion a year, that we are giving away. And all you need to do, what I'm trying to tell you, if you get all these barbershops and salons by thousands, just change your business structure. That's what Monica's telling you, to change your business structure, where you're doing things. And so with those internal changes legally and with what we have going on, what we're presenting to the people in our own businesses and with cooperative economics, we can change the whole thing almost overnight. You know. And it's a beautiful thing. Business is on the rise. That's where it's at. Pretty much, I would say 50% of the black people you talk to, they're all talking about being in business. It's all the Facebook, all the Twitter, all the social media. That's what we into. That's where this is going. That's where the next generation has to move, is toward ownership in business and then land development. The Nation of Islam has a program called the Muhammad's Economic Program. And the Muhammad's Economic Program, you can put in $1.35 a month into a large national bank. And you have 16 million black wage earners, right? Mm-hmm. And the 16 million black wage earners put in $1.35 a month. That will produce $291 million in 1 year. $291 million. Now, we don't have $1.35. See, this is cooperative economics. This is how powerful it is. And that money, what they're planning on doing is getting land. They have some land, and they're planning on buying more for the black community. So, you know, there are solutions out here. That's what I'm saying. It's a new time. It's a new time, you know, and it's wonderful. I'm excited about it, you know. I see some brilliant things coming up, you know, for us as a whole. You know, I don't try to pay attention to all that negativity that's out there in the media and on the news. You know, try to keep on the positive and keep the narrow direction. Keep the eyes on the prize, you know. That's not new. So, you know, I'm really excited. We got a couple minutes left in the show, or 5 more minutes. But I wanted to ask before, I wanted to play a short clip of Dr. Paul Anderson before we get out of here. If we had any more callers for those that want to make a commentary.
Yeah, hey, Brick, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, this is Jonathan Sinclair.
Hey, Jonathan, hey, let me give you the intro.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, Monica. Good to hear you.
Jonathan,
excellent show so far.
Jonathan is the president of Black Wall Street International, like my good friend on the show tonight. Go ahead and talk to us, Jonathan. Say your mind.
A lot of things came to mind as I listened to the show, but one of the main things is the fear. The reason why there's so many businesses now and why there's been such a boom is because we've been kicked out of so many jobs. And so it's by force that we have been pushed to do things for ourselves, because nowadays they're not giving us that chance. They're not giving us that, oh, here's a job. You know, Black man, I see that you need a job. Here you go. It's no longer like that. You are now being forced to fend for yourself. So now it's not even a matter of, you know, hey, this is something nice that I would like to do. You know, this is the right thing to do, so I'm going to do it. No, it's forced on us now to where we have to take care of ourselves. And we have really done ourselves a disservice, because we should have been doing this by choice using whatever freedom we had so that we could do things right. Because a lot of times when we're forced to do something, now we don't have all the resources to really do that thing right, so we're doing it halfway. And one of the things with businesses, and Monica touched on this earlier, we focus on the actual service so much, but there is much more to business than just doing the hair, just mowing the lawn, or whatever your good or service is. There's marketing, there's, what I'm saying, and you can hire people. And one of the things that I want to just say before the show closes out is you have to get over that fear, because really it's the fear that has kept us from making these moves a long time ago to where now we're doing it because we're forced. But there's still this level of fear that says, you can't do that. You can't have a business. You can't, what I'm saying? And if you can move past that, because that's one of the things that keeps us from hiring people as well. It keeps us not just from starting businesses, but from growing and expanding businesses. And if you look at, the reason that you have these jobs in corporate America, it's not because they like you. It's not because they want to see you succeed and they're trying to take care of your family. No. And that's why, like it was also talked about, and I'm a contract worker myself. I don't have benefits. If the people who are on salary, when they have vacation days, I don't have vacation days. I don't have sick days. So that's what we're looking forward to, people, is you are basically, they're there to take advantage of you in whatever way they can. And that's just the way it is. That's the game. But the reason why they hire you is because they're making more money from you being there than from you staying at home doing nothing. So if you understand that logic and you start to hire people, then you're getting more of a benefit from them being there than from them being at home. You will make more money by hiring people. All you have to do is make sure you're hiring the right people for the right jobs. And there's aspects of your business, like Monica said before, where, maybe you don't have all the business acumen in the world and you don't know how to do certain things. That's why you need to either team up with someone who does have those missing pieces that you don't have, or you hire somebody who has those missing pieces. And that's one of the things that we haven't traditionally done, is step into that management role where now you can manage people under you to fulfill all of the needs of that business.
Yes.
Right.
Let's move past the fear of that. Yes.
So Monica, we right at the top of the hour. This was, man, we'll have to do a part two. Every show I said we're going to have to do a part two, it seems like, and definitely going to have to do one. We're going to have to roll out. Any last words, parting words for the people? First you go, Jonathan, then Monica. We got about 20 seconds.
Okay. Support Black business, support Spiral Funding, support all the engines and tools that are going to change the game. That's all I got to say. All right.
Definitely. For me, if everyone could tap into Facebook. I'm starting a Facebook group, Salon Life, and these are for all of our entrepreneurs, business owners, salon professionals. But we're going to start some critical thinking and critically need-based type conversations so we can step out with a better strategic plan on how we can keep our businesses afloat and start to really truly reach out to that global marketplace. Salon Life on Facebook.
That's right.
One last thing, this social media manager, Deltrick, great conversation. I get a chance to really jump in, but don't believe the hype. Like Brett said earlier, there are great united Black people all around this world. I get to talk to them on a daily basis who are doing wonderful things. We just got to connect with each other and make something happen for our people.
Great.
That's right. And check out for the YouTube videos. We put the shows on YouTube all the time, Black Wall Street. So if you want to recommend a friend, definitely do that. You can also, if you want to email me, you can email me at brett@blackwallstreet2.com. If you want to email Jonathan, that's Jonathan at blackwallstreet2.com, and Deltrick, DELTDRICK, at blackwallstreet2.com if you want to hit us on the email with any information about Spiral Funny or anything tonight. My people, we got to ride out. We'll be back on next Friday. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Jonathan, Deltrick. Love. We're riding out.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.